So let's start looking at actually building the second dome. You out of the way here. So we're going to want to do the dome down this way, right? We're going to do second dome here, so we have that one research spot. And then we're hopefully going to work towards having another dome here with both research spots to get the really big bonus. So one of the little tricks about making sure you maximize the distance, because the passage only goes a certain length away. And now that we're building this, let's we have to destroy that small alley there. Just built that temporarily to get the comfort level up.
Sector scanned.
All right, so now we'll pause. So the passageway is this. So this is going to be what connects the dome, but it can only be, there's sort of a maximum distance. Like there we go, can't go any farther than that. And sometimes you kind of want to get it to be the maximum length away. So the little tip I do is I usually use an RC to kind of help me mark a spot. So that's the maximum. Oops, zoom out a little bit. So we're going to XX. So right here where the cursor is about the maximum length. And I'm going to move an RC. The transport's done what it's doing, so we'll just use that. So we're going to first move the transport there. And pause. Let's double check that we got it placed pretty well on that maximum spot. And let's make sure we kind of do this correctly. There we go. Alright, so there it is. It's definitely about the maximum spot, but then we're going to back off about 3 because we want to be able to place the dome without the RC blocking it. Alright, so we're going to move the RC here. Okay, so now we know the passage can go about 3 hexes past that. And 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we're about 3 past that. So now we go to build the dome. And we kind of see the hex on that corner is the one we want to use. And we can go 3 away. 1, 2, 3. So we can place it there. Now, I'm trying to see if that leaves room. That puts it a little too closer, so I think I'm going to move it over here a little bit more. Let's get you out of the way now that we have a sense of it. Because the third dome, the one we want 2 of, I'm looking at using this barrel dome, which is a slightly different shape. And yeah, we're going to have to move that metal extractor and get that waste rock out of the way. But see, the barrel dome can be here, and both of the research sites are within it. And that's just looks a little too far to me to do that as the second dome. So it doesn't necessarily mean to be the maximum amount away. So let's see how it looks putting it. We'll go with right there. And that should be definitely close enough for the passage, but let's just double check. I always like to double check before we start building. Let's do it. Yeah, so there's definitely, it could go even farther away, actually. And, I think we're going to do that. So let's cancel this. Now that we have a better idea of which way the passage needs to go. We're going to go up this way, over, and over. Alright, so we're going to go 3 back from that. 1, 2, 3. Move our transport there. Good. That placement. Because nothing's worse than if you don't double check building it and then your passage doesn't make it there, then that's like a really bad thing. So here we're 4, it looked like 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can, 5 actually. Oh, even more than that. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can go even 6 over from where the transport is. Right now the transport's on the corner. We know the passage will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that looks pretty good. I'm just going to scooch over here a little bit more, so we have room for the barrel dome in the other spot. All right, let's make sure the passage will go, and then we'll leave it at that to call it a day. All right, yeah, so it'll definitely reach. All right, so we're going to go with that and make that commitment. So now we'll get that dome starting. Now we analyze.
Our initial spectrographic analysis confirmed it. Chromium.
Reduce the cost of engineering 10%, or get some rare metals.
Important was an understatement.
So I'm going to go, I always choose making research easier. So we'll just go with that. So this is a case where sometimes you may want to help along as needed, but it's all the resources are getting there very, very quickly because we had that concrete depot right there anyway. Although the concrete ran out, so let's go ahead and use our transport. And now we're going to load up on the concrete from over here and bring it over. That might help get the dome built a little quicker. And our rocket is refueled, ready to go back. So let's send you back to Earth. Room and metal. That's getting pretty close to full. And that thing's cranking pretty well. So I'm going to build a couple more metal depots here. All right, let's work on the sensor tower thing because we got another 5. Just while we're doing that, I'm going to leave it. Yeah, it's playing at regular speed. So where's our sensor towers? Let's build another, at least one other of that. Put you here. We had another one over here, right there. Oh, that's right. I didn't need to build it next to power because it's independent. I forgot we researched that. So in that case, since it doesn't need power, let's put it a little farther away. Let's put one over here. And let's do another one. It's going to be somewhere where you know we're not likely to want to build something later, although we could always demolish it. They don't cost a lot. Let's put it way over here. So that's at least a few more. I think we need 2 more after these, but go slowly on that. Alright, let's speed up. Get this dome built a little faster. Alright, now that that's built, we need to connect with the passage. The passage also automatically brings power and life support and all of that. Here, over. And the passage usually is only concrete. So we have to keep an eye on the farm, because once the soil quality gets up, we need to get the right cycle in place for the crops. And our explorer needs an anomaly to scan. And it gives you that warning that a dome doesn't have life support. So as soon as the passage gets built, it will have life support.
Research complete.
Ah, okay. So we've got our shuttles. I'm just going to go ahead and build those right away because they're just too useful to have. Let's make sure we got the right kind of resources, though. I think they need electronics a little bit more. So here's our shuttle hub. So yeah, it's 15 polymers, 10 electronics. So that's a pretty good chunk of what we have, and we're not really producing any yet. So I think I'm going to wait a little bit until we're at least producing polymers. But you definitely want to get the shuttles built as early as possible. So the other thing we're going to need over the passages is to build a little ramp that goes over them that drones and the RCs can go over. Because if you got a whole row of domes connected by passages, they would need to move all the way around it to get to someplace else on the other side. Whereas you do a ramp over every passage, it's a shortcut over. There we go. Alright. So we're going to pause. So let's put the ramp in to be built first. And that's on the same screen right next to the passage. So passage ramp. That goes over. We discovered a breakthrough. What's that? Usually fairly exciting. Colonists consume 25% less food. That would be a good one. Yeah, let's go ahead and add that.
Research complete.
Oh, we got another thing right away. Oh, I think I chose the wrong thing anyway. Alright. We'll move this up. Alright, so let's pause. So our second dome's built. Needs some buildings now. So let's talk really quickly about the children, right? We had a child. So let's look at there's the colonist in the command center. Colonists. And then you can filter these. So to see exactly what's going on with the children, right? You want to say unable to work because the children don't work. And then under age group, you filter for children, and it's just one right now. But for children, they need something to do as well. So we are going to build a playground and a nursery. So a nursery is just living space for children. And next to that, we're going to build a playground, which is sort of equivalent of like the job that the children go to. And if they're working in a playground or playing in a playground rather, they can potentially get perks, which we want. Because then once they reach young adult, they'll have a perk when they're ready to start working. And our ramp's built, so now things can go over it. Like, let's move him over here. So now they can go over the ramp like that. Alright, no life support. Let's pause here. We need more power. Yes. Alright. So let's do that, right? We have our second dome. We kind of want to duplicate our life support producing items on each dome, just in case they don't stay connected. So we're going to put those over here, right next to the passage. So let's build a little bit of a section of pipe. Oop, nope, we want to do it here. Right, and we're going to do, we're out of prefab moisture vaporators and we can't build them yet. Alright, so we'll have to wait on that. But let's go ahead and do a Stirling generator. We'll hopefully solve the power issue. And they're good to kind of put them in the corner by a passage like that because, we'll have to do another passage somewhere else. But you're not going to build a second passage next to this one. And we're going to speed that up so we get that our thing built. There we go, and open it up. Alright, so no more life support issues in our new dome. Alright, so our nursery's built. So now we need to make sure that the child that we have kind of goes and lives in the nursery. So we are going to filter the dome. So we're clicked on this dome, and there's this, filter by traits. So this lets you filter who you want to be able to be in the dome. We're going to choose age group. We're going to say no. So we don't want children living in this dome. Okay, we're going to apply. And then in this dome where the nursery is, we're going to use filter. And we're going to say we're encouraging children to move in here. And if it's not in, child's not there already, there will be shortly. See the child pop. There he is. All right, so now he's moved in. He's living in that nursery, and he'll be going to that playground. So now we also need kind of the basic services in our new dome as well. So let's go ahead and do the food item first. So we'll build just a diner for now. That's a 3, so we'll put you there. We will need some apartments. So let's go ahead and build apartment block. And then we're going to build the next dome down this way. So we're going to choose this triangle as being where we want the passage. And it'll be in one of those corners. So we're going to build 3 hex things. And we have the research bonus. Let's build another research lab. Okay. And then, yeah, let's do another grocer there too. So we have food and shopping. Where are you, grocer? There we go. And then we've started to produce these rare metals. So I think what we're going to build is if we can, if we don't need a prefab, let's start producing electronics. Normally I would want to do polymers first, but since we've got these rare metals going, we should go ahead and start producing electronics if we can. And we can do either a small or a regular one. And I think we're going to start with the small, but that's a prefab. So we do need a couple prefabs here. So we need at least one other moisture vaporator and a small electronics factory. We could probably go for getting another little group of advanced resources as well. So let's look at that. Cargo. All right, so we're prefab buildings first. So we're going to do a small electronics factory. And we needed I'm going to say 2 moisture vaporators. And money might be a little bit of an issue here. I'll go ahead and choose one more drone hub. We had a few Stirling factories, so we're not going to worry about that. But I am going to go ahead and do a polymer factory, because we're going to want to do that pretty soon as well. Okay, and then let's just take a balance of the 3 advanced resources. For however much money we can. Alright, and we're now out of money. Alright, so we're going to go with that. Alright, so let's set up that life support here. So now we have the moisture vaporator. Let's tuck that in right here. Actually, let's do it so. And a water tank. And then we'll also make sure we're producing oxygen. So even though, like if you look at life support here, even though we're producing enough water and oxygen, I always like to make sure that there's production happening right next to the dome for every dome as well. Because you could end up with some kind of a disaster that, you know, causes power loss or life support loss between domes. That way if you have them producing right at each dome, your colonists can still breathe and have water. We like that. So, alright, that's Moxie for oxygen. Let's increase this pipe a little bit more so we can get the oxygen tank here. Alright, so that'll cover water and oxygen and storing some for that dome. And I think the other thing we'll do is we'll try to do those last sensor towers. How many did we need? 6 total. We've got 4. So let's also build 2 more sensor towers. down kind of here. The other thing sensor towers do is if you have a disaster coming, the more sensor towers you have, the more advanced notice you'll have of a disaster. And it also improves the scanning speed. Not that we need that because we have the fast scanning turned on. Put you, we don't want it near anything that causes dust. Let's just put it right here. So we should get that mission goal accomplished too. Oh, we got a power issue here. Oh, the Moxie doesn't have power. So let's build the power line right under the pipeline like we usually like to do. And then that Moxie should start going again. Our farm produced another round of food. Alright, let's change wheat. We're going to go back to soybeans again.
Research complete.
Actually,
Milestone achieved.
so we got this new crop here, cover crops. That will actually increase the soil quality by 40%, but it doesn't produce that much
Anomaly
food.
analyzed.
So, but we're already at 70, so that would be too much at this point. So we're just going to do soybeans for all three. So we're at 70 now. Does the next one, that'll be 80, 90, and then 100. So this next three rounds of soybeans will get us at 100% soil quality. Let me pause because we got our mission goals here. Diner, yeah, we don't need, we need people. We analyze an anomaly.
Environs of the red planet than meets the eye.
So is that, oh,
A
see there we got
veritable
deep
treasure
scanning.
trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder.
So let's get that queued in somewhere near the top. Yeah, so let's do, where's deep scanning? Here it is. So we'll get it in the queue and then we're going to move it up. So let's move it up to be the next thing after this, and then the larger domes after that. Alright, so goal completed, right? We got our one of our mission objectives. Oops, wrong menu. There, that's now checked off, so we got 15 drone prefabs. So if it's a drone prefab, that means it's sort of available. So like if you click on the drone hub, so there are 7 drones working in this hub. We've got 15 available prefabs. So right trigger, and this lets you unpack or pack a drone. So we're going to unpack, let's go to an even 10. We're going to unpack 3 of those 15. Now we'll have 10, and then we'll do the same over here. Make sure there's at least 10. There's 6, so let's unpack 4. And then our RC commander has 5 of 8, so he can have another 3. So let's unpack 3 for the commander. 1, 2. So now we still have about 5. And we'll save those for the next drone hub we put down. Alright, how's our rocket doing on getting ready to go back? Oops. Alright, just a little bit more to unload. So let's turn on the second shift of the research lab. Let's get that small electronics factory placed. There it is. And it's the small one, so it only takes up 3. The larger one would take up a whole big triangle. So to make things as efficient as possible for that electronics factory, we're going to put a depot for the rare metals right outside the door here. Let's put it here. And we're going to tell it that we always want at least 20 rare metals in here. So desired amount 20. So then the drones will always keep at least 20 in there. They'll get put into the electronics factory to make the electronics. And now we need a place for the electronics. We're going to build an electronics depot right outside that same door. Actually, we're going to build 2. So once that's built and we've got engineers in it, there should be a nice steady stream of rare metals here being taken in to be turned into electronics and then brought right back out. And we'll dismiss all that. Oh, and now that that's built, let's turn on the other shift of engineers. Get as many in there as we can, and we'll amplify that since we can to make it produce quicker. Yeah, I'm going to slow it down a little bit. So our next group of colonists will be, right, we'll need the 8 engineers. We still got room for 5 officers over there. And then our no specialization over here, we'll need another 2 for this grocer. And another, what is it, 4? Oh, somebody moved over here. So that means that there's probably a spot open over here in this diner. Or is it the grocer? No, or it could be that the child that we had has now grown up and entered the workforce. I think so, because that looks like a different child. Alright, and our rocket's ready. Let's get that back. You go back to Earth. We've got more people to bring. And let's make sure there's enough room for everybody. Yep, there's more than enough space in here. The other thing you have to think about is when you click on the dome and it says 30 vacant residential slots, it does not differentiate between the apartment and the nursery. Right? There's 23 left in the apartment and 7 left, right? So that's where that I did say 30, didn't it? Yep, that's where that 30 comes from. Because children can live in the apartment or in the things for everybody, anything like that, but adults can't live in the nursery. Alright, and let's give our explorer something to do again. You can have more than one explorer, but since I always forget, then that would just give me 2 explorers to forget about. So I always stick with just one. And we have these anomalies up here that we can't reach yet. So the other thing we'll have to do soon is build a ramp or a tunnel. It'll have to be a ramp probably to start. And then that ramp will give us access to send the RCs up to that high ground there. Alright, so let's bring up that list since we're about to get a free rocket again. I'm going to take another picture with my phone. Okay. Alright, and our rocket's ready again. Alright, so let's do that. We'll choose the next group of colonists, and then we will call it a day on this round. So passengers, so let's reset the spec. Make sure flaws are turned off, yes. Did the age group correctly, yes. Alright, so let's do our engineers first, right? So that's gonna be 8. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we had room for 5 more officers. Let's get those chosen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we had the next research lab, so that could be 6 scientists. We're going to do pretty good with research here to start. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. And then how many non-spec? Did we get all our specialists? 8, 6, 5. Three. I think we needed more than 3, so we'll just take all 3. Alright, let's get you launched, get you folks here. And you'll notice I didn't build an infirmary or security station over here. Eventually when you have larger domes, you probably want everything covered in every dome. But since these are smaller and they're connected, I'm going to see if we can get away with just having the infirmary and the security station here. In this early stage, like one covering every 2 domes should be fine, because people can still take the passage to go to the infirmary as they need to. But you would get a better comfort level if you have all services in each dome. Alright, our rocket's here. Let's get that landed. And how are we doing on producing electronics? Oh, that's right. We won't until we get these engineers in here. So I'll leave that clicked on and watch the engineers fill in and start working. There we go. Boom, 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 boom.
Colonists have arrived.
Oh, we got a no life support issue. What's going on? Power again. Let's arrive. Fuel. Why is the fuel refinery not working? Storage space is full. Ah, okay. Let's address that real quick too. So we just need to build another fuel depot there. And let's build it. Let's build it kind of right here, actually, so it's accessible to both. Actually, I don't want it near the mine, though. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. Oops. Sure that's in between both, like we wanted it to be. There you go. All right.
Anomaly analyzed.
Oh, forgot about the life support issue. And it's power again, right? Let's build another Stirling generator. That's the other thing we're going to need to do is start that solar farm nearby. Don't want all your eggs in one basket, is the old saying. Let's put this one here. And we'll fast forward just to get that built. And then get it opened up to produce more power. Alright, good. Alright, well, I think we better call it there. Got some good research being produced. We're now producing electronics. Ooh, that apartment filled out pretty quickly. So our next steps are going to be to get this second dome more built in, some more colonists there. We're going to need to do some creative demolishing and moving of waste rock to get the next dome built here to get the 2 research bonus. And we still have to get polymers going and mechanical parts going. So once we start producing all resources, that's kind of, I would call it officially the end of the very early game. Then we're sort of more self-sustained because we're producing anything that we need. So we will pick up from here next week. Until then, bye-bye.